Hey guys, it's Mongolian Mindset today, and we're gonna be helping Niall find his type again. Niall, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
So my name is Niall. Um, uh, Obviously I'm interested in the whole MBTI, whatever, and I box, and guess I'm a cool guy. Can I say?
So guys, we got Niall on here again. The thing that we really care about is getting people's personalities right. Last time we thought he was a certain personality type. I think that's wrong. So we're reviewing him again to see if it's right or wrong. So now, what do you want to be remembered for?
Uh, I want to be remembered for what I did for people, and I want to be remembered for um the I want to be remembered for like what I caused in the world.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like I want my like name to mean something, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. You say you like boxing. What about boxing intrigues you?
I think the thing about boxing that intrigues me is that if you look at other sports, like for example, basketball, like you have to have a certain like frame and body type to perform at a very high level. But with boxing, you see people of all different body types and stuff do well. And there's actually like evolutionary theory behind this because before like the modern civilization, obviously we had to hunt. So obviously as evolution occurred, the people who know how to defend themselves survive. And obviously in different regions, there's different temperatures and stuff like that. So different body types ended up prevailing. So I think boxing is a really inclusive sport, and that's why it intrigues me because no matter how good you are, you always find someone that will challenge you. I don't care how good you are, you always will.
Hmm. Okay. So, when you were a kid, did you always know like boxing was something you wanted to do, or?
Not necessarily. There's actually kind of a journey of me finding boxing. However, martial arts was something that was always like prevalent in my life. Um, so like kind of like any kid, like like oftentimes kids are like put in karate or sports like soccer and stuff like that. So I was put in karate, and out of my whole family, like I was just the fastest. Like I'd always get promoted like in belts and stuff like that. And I liked, physically exercising, and I was always like physically pretty coordinated, even though I wasn't like a tall, strong person. So,
Mhm.
and then obviously as I got older, I realized that like karate wasn't exactly as, for lack of a better word, brutal or realistic in the real world for what the sport was intended. Because
Mhm.
essentially, the sport is intended to figure out in a street fight who would win, the closest thing to a street fight, who would win. And obviously, karate, there's a lot of like fake dojos and stuff like that. But you see, like MMA and boxing, like those are like real sports. And I want to do something that's real, not something that's marinated, even if people think it's real.
Okay. What do you think gives you advantage in boxing?
Hmm. I think what gives me an advantage in boxing is one, I'd say my dedication. One thing I've noticed is that if you don't put, if well, just like in anything in life, if you don't put in the time, you're not gonna bear any fruit, to put it in that terms. And also, what I noticed that's um an advantage is that I can identify my advantages and I work towards that. And naturally, I'm very analytical, so after like every sparring thing, I'm like, oh, like I can see the culmination of like my style. Like when I started boxing, like I was just this small dude, so I was getting beat up all the time. And then as I like got better, I realized like, oh, like my speed's coming in, I'm really fast. And I see other boxers and I'm like, oh, like I was able to do this move, and I can see like how other boxers are, and I can compare myself and I can mold myself and also see the potential pitfalls that I might have, even though I don't have a career in that yet, because I can look at what those boxers struggle with and I could try to cover those patches up.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Um, hmm. If you wasn't doing boxing, what would you do?
If I wasn't doing boxing, um, I definitely would still work out and stuff like that, but it would just be for like leisure. I want to be like, this might sound vain, but I want, like, obviously I want to have like a nice body and stuff. Like I want to make sure I'm at my best physically speaking. So regardless, I would still do that. But as for like job or career wise, I'd probably do something um I'd try to like do some like engineering or something like that because I'm good at math. So, but I would want like I wouldn't want like a job per se. Like I'd want like a job where I can work on things and then I get like rewarded based on that. Like instead of like having to clock in for a certain amount of hours, like I can get paid for like projects and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's yeah. Hmm. What's something that makes you happy? Like what is something you do that makes you happy?
Um, I'd say other than boxing, I'd say just talking to people. Like
Mm-hmm.
um, even if like I don't know, I just like to talk to people. It's cool.
Mm-hmm. So
Even though I'm kind of sorry, even though I'm kind of an
you
introverted person,
mm-hmm.
whatever. Whenever I get to like communicate with people, even if I don't really like, even if there's nothing that's gonna come out of it, like I can still kind of take something away from it, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Um, let's see. You talked about how was your childhood? Like,
Hmm. Uh, from a general scope.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Uh, I mean, I had a pretty good upbringing, obviously. Well, it's not really obvious, but I'm saying it's obvious to me. But anyway, I had a good upbringing, obviously. I did well in school. I'm still doing well. Uh, well, when I was a kid, I was a lot less like thinking about like other people, what other people thought and stuff like that. I was just kind of loud and like happy and just talking to everyone. But obviously now I'm older. I'm like constantly thinking like what other people think and stuff like that. And I'm very like reserved. So I'd probably say I was a lot happier then than now.
Oh wow, wow, wow. You think that um you think hmm, do you like watching the movies, TV, anything like that? Like
Yeah,
any
I
favorite
do.
shows, like anything like that?
Yeah. You mean right now or as a
Yeah.
kid?
Like as a
Oh,
kid, like is there anything that like motivated you from like a TV show or movie or anything like that?
yeah, there's this anime it's called Naruto. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why, but I don't know. Seeing the well, Naruto and Sasuke, they both motivated me in different ways. I think
Mm-hmm.
Naruto because it's like, oh, like I want to be the best and stuff, and even if he wasn't the best, he still kept going and trying to be the best, and that motivated me. So I saw that aspect of myself in him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sasuke didn't really motivate me, but like I'm more related to kind of like I guess his coldness and how he's only focused on like his well in the beginning he was only focused on like trying to kill Itachi like that's like the main thing right
Mm-hmm.
in his journey and obviously I don't want to kill anybody but um like I'm kind of only focused on my goal and stuff and I can be kind of closed off and harsh so
Mm-hmm.
like outside world so I definitely see like myself in him in a sense so
Yeah, Naruto and Sasuke very very interesting. You got the cold guy, but he changes a lot when he gets into Boruto.
yeah
If you watch that series, you can pretty much tell that like his personality type is not what it was in Naruto. He's
yeah
actually like kind of I'd say shadow focused ENTP because
yeah
he had one goal, and that was to kill Itachi. But then like afterwards, he went through this whole journey and he's trying to figure out the truth and like the whole idea of what Itachi did pretty much shocked him. And he actually felt bad because he knew the suffering of Itachi. And because he knew the suffering of Itachi, he wanted to make other people suffer. So then
Right.
you get like the fucking, and he's like, I'm gonna just destroy the whole system because
Yeah, and I
all
should
my
probably put it
brothers are
out
suffering.
that with the Naruto, like I only watched the beginning like
Mm-hmm.
series of it
Mm-hmm.
because like obviously like streaming stuff, so I haven't really gotten to watch like the whole thing.
Oh, you
So
never
that
finished it, huh?
no, I can't find
Uh-huh.
it. I like the original like Naruto, like when he first like the academy and everything, and then
Mm-hmm.
he goes and obviously the snake or Orochimaru, that's that guy's name. And
Mm-hmm.
then he gets the curse mark, and then he leaves, right? Sasuke leaves Konoha, like, and then he comes back. That's where I like left off, where he comes back and then starts attacking Naruto and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah.
is you do that a lot? You like start things and don't finish them outside of boxing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Outside of boxing, yeah, like my whole life has been just trying to figure out like what I want to do and what I'm gonna be good at.
Mm-hmm. So it took you a long time to figure out what you want to do, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
Especially especially because like there's a lot of things that not to toot my own horn, but there's a lot of things that I was kind of good at naturally. And but
mhm.
there's a lot of things that I wasn't also good at naturally too. But obviously my brain automatically filtered out what I was bad at naturally. So all I was focused at was what I was good at naturally. And
Mhm.
that's what gave me the like the dilemma.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah. What do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
See myself in the next 10 years. Proving people wrong.
Huh? You said prove
Proving
people wrong.
yeah.
Is that what motivates you?
Oh yeah.
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 You said proving people wrong. That's a good chip to have on your shoulder. Um, do you struggle making decisions for yourself?
I mean I ultimately do making a decision, but the only reason why I have an issue answering this question is that like I don't really know how the average person like makes a decision. So it's kind of hard to. No, I mean I'm obviously gonna answer the question, but it's like how does that like compare to the average person? You
Like
know?
like let's say you're going to go to a restaurant and there's a damn menu there. How long would it
Uh,
take you to figure out what you want to eat?
oh, like 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
You have to go through all
Usually like
the menu.
no, I just like filter out what I like and I choose it. Usually like I'm the one that's like hurry up, like if out on a date or something, or like if I'm like with my family, I'm like, come on, let's order. Like I want to eat and go. You know?
Do you keep yourself like pretty fast paced a lot of times or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um hmm. We talked about boxing. Let's see. Hmm. What's the ideal partner for you?
Someone who appreciates me for who I am
Hmm.
and someone gives me peace.
That's it?
I mean, those are two things that a lot of women don't do. So, I mean,
I mean, can she be a 4 out of 10?
well, nah, four is crazy. Can't do it.
Boy, it's crazy. So you got to give me, what would be your ideal partner?
I mean, I prefer someone from my own culture. That's that's definitely something that's important to me. Not that I like have any like issues against anyone else, because I mean, obviously, like especially like where I'm from, like the neighborhood, like all I'm exposed to is outside of my culture, and that's probably why I probably feel so strongly about that, but because like you're kind of forced to like learn to appreciate your own culture, and that's actually something that a lot of people have have a shared experience that I've noticed like on the internet and stuff, which I think is pretty interesting. Um, someone who's, s- I mean, smart. I mean, I prefer smart, like, but it doesn't really matter that much.
Hmm.
I mean, but someone who's truthful, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
loyal, obviously, um, and like obviously looks good, I guess. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Yeah.
but I don't really have like the type like they have to be like taller or whatever. I don't really care,
Yeah.
or shorter,
What is a skill you think everybody should learn?
skill. Uh, I'd say how to defend themselves.
I knew you
That's
would probably say that shit.
I know.
I'm like, fuck. As soon as I said, I'm like, fuck. Yeah.
Okay. A skill. That's one, but I feel like that's the obvious one. So I can think of another one. A skill. Let's see, an intangible skill. I'm gonna go with like one of those intangible skills, and I'll say people should learn how to. What's the word? Wait, hold on. How do I explain this? Oh, understand where people are coming from.
I think it's pretty easy for you to understand where people are coming from.
Actually, no, and that's why I say that because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I mean, I try. Do I try though? I feel like everyone says they try and then they don't. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I feel like it's one of those things. If anything, I'm too stubborn. Like,
You stubborn.
yeah, all my breaks like just like, oh, like this is how I know you're right. This is how I know I'm right because you're not even gonna answer my question. I'm gonna be a world champion anyway, so I don't care about you anymore. All that type of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then they block me. So that's kind of how that ends.
Okay. Um, hmm. Let's see. We talked about that. If you had three wishes, what would you wish for?
Um, three wishes. Oh, one would be peace of mind. Two would be wisdom to make the correct. Uh, two would be wisdom to create, to make the best decisions, and then three would be to succeed in what I desire a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and to mainly transform the mold. Like when I say I want to be great, I don't want to be great in just in the sense of like, oh, like I'm just like the greatest boxer and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like trans I want to like transcend that. Like I want to be more than just a boxer, but I want to use boxing as an avenue to show people who I am and to make sure people remember me 300 years, 500 years from now.
Oh damn. Damn. That's some vision there. What do you think is something you struggle with the most?
Letting go.
Letting go.
Yeah, and that's by far that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even close. Like other answers, like there's things where there's like a couple of things usually that like, and that's like normal people, like a couple of things that are like close, but there's one thing that um is easily the most. But this one is like put it in perspective, like this one's a mountain and the other one are just like hills and burrows.
Mm-hmm. So just
Yeah,
letting go is pretty hard.
yeah.
Um, all right. Hmm. What are your goals for 2023?
Well, 2023 is almost over. So you mean 2024?
Well, I mean, what else you got? Oh yeah, you only got like 2 months left.
Yeah.
But 2024 going into it.
My goals, um, my goals is to keep my grades up because, obviously, like adults in the world, we all have responsibilities, It just and school's my responsibility. So if I take care of that, then that's more time I have to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my business I have to take care of. Second of all, I mean, my second goal is to obviously keep training and to get better. Um, which is kind of a very like subjective goal because, or I can't think of the word, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're always getting better, but specifically, I want to make sure that I set myself up well for Golden Gloves the year after.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my main goal. And if you don't know, Golden Gloves is the
Boxing, right?
amateur national championship, yeah, or
Mm-hmm.
for the viewers. So, And then my third goal, because you said 3 goals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my third goal is to um it's like economic like related stuff, like I'll make sure I have like a steady like income like outside of my parents giving me money for like college and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and saving up so I can move out and buy my own apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's hard and I'm gonna need help, and I'm fortunate to be in the situation where I need help. But at the same time, if I'm gonna be an adult, I want to do it the right way. I don't want to feel like people are giving me something and I owe something to someone. I want to do it myself.
Okay. Shelly, you got anything?
Yeah, if you could change one thing about the world, what would it be and why?
Thing about the world, probably uh, well, okay, I'd probably just say the mindset of people in power. I'd say, or either that, or it would be actually I take that back. Because of the mindset of the people in power, I would change how people viewed um like how they viewed how they like I would change people's perceptions. Well, like I would want everyone to be more open minded. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And see things for what they really are. Sorry if that was a horrible answer. Bad.
That's all good, man. Hmm. If you were the president for one day, what would be some
Hmm.
things that you would want to change?
Well, I would want to change how we spend so much money on foreign policy, but not enough money on the people. I think we all know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I think that's totally true. It's like, well, we spend
Yeah,
money over here and we don't spend money here. It's crazy. Then we say we're too broke to help our own people, but then somebody else needed $10 billion pop up. $20
yeah, I
billion.
know, right? And they get caught embezzling the money and not even using it for whatever. It's like,
The biggest scam, crook, whatever.
uh,
Um,
I almost
what,
got I almost got sent out my civics class because I went on a rant about that. Actually,
what
no,
do you
because
think
like
motivated you to go on the rant?
no, because it was just not like factually accurate. I mean, obviously a lot of these things are true, but like you can't just like people were sitting there, and obviously it's school, so people didn't really care. But like I just wanted, but I knew if I said something, people would at least take that information because a lot of people just sit and let things go in 1 year and automatically assume that it's true, or they just go in 1 year and out the other year. But even if it goes in 1 year and out the other year, you're still technically processing what they're saying in a sense. So I figured I had to speak up.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Hmm. If you could be born in any time period, what would you like to be born and why?
Probably the like late 80s or like late 80s to late 90s, I'd say,
Hmm.
like that time period. And the reason is two reasons. One, like the innovation of like technology and stuff. Like if I was in that time, I definitely do a lot of like tech startups and stuff,
Hmm.
and I can definitely make bank doing that, and I can definitely uh you know im- cause a change in the world. Not that I don't think I can't do it now, because there's still a lot of tech like evolutions and stuff like that. But obviously, I know how it evolved already, so I'd know what to do if I was just put in there, right? And also too, because in my opinion, boxing was just a better sport in
Mm-hmm.
that time, because everyone wasn't scared and they were like actually fighting each other, and there were like actual superstars, you know. Like nowadays, like the biggest boxing stars are only selling like 200 pay-per-view buys, and they say, "Oh, that's a superstar." But Mike Tyson, he was selling like what 800,000 to 1 million fighting nobodies
Mm-hmm.
just by off his name alone. And then you had like Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, and all those guys. I mean, obviously those names don't mean something to everybody, but I sure as hell know you've heard of Mike Tyson, even if you don't know what boxing is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what true greatness is, you know? It's not just achieving stuff, it's people knowing who you are, even if they don't know what you do, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Notoriety.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. What's 3 words your friends would say about you?
Okay. They would say driven, curious, I'd say. Yeah, driven, curious, and well, no, if I say ambitious, that's basically an adjective of driven, isn't
Driven.
it? So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that wouldn't make sense. Um, um, stubborn, driven, curious, and stubborn.
Okay. Give us 2 words that your friends would say about you that's bad.
Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, I did say stubborn, so I mean, is that really bad though? I mean, subjectively, it's bad, I guess. But I'll think of another one. Not two that's bad. Okay, I got you. Okay, my bad. I keep dropping this one.
You did.
Okay, okay. Let's see. Two that's bad. Um, I'd say cold.
Gold.
Okay, and um, and maybe selfish. I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't think about the people, but I think, especially like if we're talking about the negative things, like probably selfish.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Shelly, you got anything?
Um, when
Mm-hmm.
you help people, what do you think you're like? What motivates you?
Want to help other people. Well, one, partly it will make me feel good doing so, and I think even people who are very selfless, that's a main motivator because I think people do chase their feelings what makes them feel good. Um, because technically speaking, like a lot of people say, "Oh, I do this kindness to my heart," but it gives them a certain like dopamine rush, like a chemical rush, right, when they do it. So I'd say that, and two, because well, it means I make an impact. Like even if I didn't achieve anything, me helping out someone means I made an impact, and that's my main mission in life: to be known and to make an impact. Do you need me to elaborate more, or is that fine?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say, mm, what is something that, let's say, it can be abstract and you can make it real. What would you make? Like some people would say Pokemon, some people would say lightsabers. What would be your thing?
My thing? Okay, cool. Yeah, this is a cool question. Uh, um, yeah, like, I'd say what I would do is like, Harry Potter, like the wands, like
Mm-hmm.
actual magic. Or that'd be so cool. Like, imagine like you have like an invisibility cloak and like you're in class and like the teacher's just yapping or whatever. You just put the cloak on and you just walk out.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty cool. Or like just like wand duels, like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, I read like the whole series when I was like in first grade. I started in kindergarten. I finished it in first grade. Yeah.
What got you like? What kind of propelled you to go Harry Potter? You know.
Um, I don't know. I think it's like my mom was a fan of it back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Oh, this is a Harry Potter book," and I was always like curious. Like I always wanted to like read and stuff like that. So I kind of got immersed into that, and I was always interested in those kind of like fictional worlds with their own rules and like their own like things, like Star Wars too, like
Mm-hmm.
like and like the Hunger Games and all those kind of stuff. So I was kind of always interested in those kinds of things, like those fictional worlds.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is gonna be a good one. How do you know something's true or false?
True or false?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Geez, such a simple question. Okay. All right. How I know something's true?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's say someone comes up to me and says something. Okay. So what I would do is instantly, I would think about what I said. Well, no, what they said, sorry. So I would think about whatever is something true or not. And I'd be like, okay, so if this has to be true, then what else has to be true? What is like related to that subject? And
Mm-hmm.
then I would be like, okay, are there any examples in the real world that contradict that? And let's say there is, then I will go to those contradictions and I'd be like, okay, is there an explanation for this contradiction? If it's no, then I have to go back and see the fundamental principle and then determine if there's any errors and then therefore conclude it's not true. If there is an explanation, then I'll be like, okay, if there's an exception, then it could still be true. And then I would just have to still go back to the principle and then do that same process. So regardless, I'm still going back to the principle. I'd first do that. And let's say there wasn't any contradictions, then I would say, okay, how does this apply to me and how does this apply to the world and how does this fit into the subject as its whole? And if it fits in and there isn't any um if there's isn't any like things that raise concerns, I would consider it true. However, I'll say this. Truth in itself, like this is kind of philosophical, but truth in itself isn't not that it doesn't necessarily exist, but it's still a concept. So, like, if we go down this rabbit hole, you can say, like, for example, in science, like, the most you can really get is like a hypothesis that's confirmed, which I guess in a sense is the truth, but it's just a theory. Like, scientific theory isn't 100% the truth. So there could always be new evidence that comes around that disproves that. So it's all about what conclusion I come up in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So you believe truth is subjective, pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
relative in the sense truth is subjective in this. If we take out relativity, if we don't take out relativity, then obviously there can be such thing as a objective truth. And what I mean by that is, for example, the parameters of math, right? If we keep the parameters of math, then 1 + 1 = 2, right? 2 + 2 = 4. Those are objective math truths, and then those make the basis of advanced mathematics and so on and so forth. But if the question is simply like, how do I know if something's true or not? And we're just even questioning the parameters that's itself, then I think truth is subjective.
yeah. Um, hmm. Shelly, got anything? No. Are you ready, Shelly? Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shelly, you wanna break it down what his type is and why we fucked it up?
Um, yeah, I was ignoring the fact that you were abstract last time because ISTPs can be a little bit more abstract than some sensing types. But I'm gonna let you break it down, Mercer.
You always put it on me. So what ended up happening, man? I was watching I came home, I was fucking drunk. And I was about to upload this video, and I'm started watching it for fucking timestamps, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yo, fuck, this guy is a ENFP. He's journey focused. You're journey focused, man. You're all about the journey. You even talk about the journey of boxing, how you went through the journey of getting better in boxing, how you came to boxing. Like, you're journey focused. Like, so as ISFP, ISFPs are not journey focused. You're all about the journey of getting to your notoriety of becoming this famous boxer. You're all on that journey. Obviously, you're still TFI user. That's apparent because you want status. You want to do what makes you feel good. You want to be well renowned, all that type of thing. But you are extroverted, intuitive, because you're all about your own personal experience. You use a lot of I statements, a lot of I statements. And I think what actually threw us off is that you talk about wanting to make an impact and everything, but it's really like it's there, but it's really not. There's way too many I statements, so you're more of an SI user instead of an SE user. But they did throw us off the first time, and it made us think that you're an SE user, but you're really an SI user. And you're abstract, like even when you're talking about the mountains and the hills, you know, you're talking about the comparison there. And a big hallmark here was T.I. Trickster, man. You believe truth is subjective. Okay. That's the T.I. Trickster thing. T.I. Trickster is very prone to believing like that's your truth, you know. Like, that's your truth. That's a big thing there with those guys. You care about shared experience. You want to do things the right way. You talked about that. Like you don't care about, you want to do things the right way. That's an affiliative thing to say. Doing things the right way. So that lands you as an ENFP, man. And I'm sorry but that we actually got that wrong. But as always do check these videos to make sure. So surprising, my drunk self found it and my sober self didn't. I'm ashamed of me and Shelly.
At least we found it, right?
I'm ashamed of me and Shelly at this point. I can't believe that. Shelly, what do you have to say?
I can barely hear. There's too much noise in the car now.
Oh, I was just telling I'm ashamed of me and you. And then I sent it to Thomas, and he's like, I can't believe you guys missed this. And I'm like, I can't believe we missed it fucking either. Yeah, man. You're ENFP.
Right.
I look into it and tell me what you think, man, and get back to us. Sorry about that, man. But it was a pleasure to get you back in, man. Happy to have you in the group, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about that, man. Anything you want to ask us?
So what you don't have to answer this question, but like what would be your advice for like ENFPs or specifically me or whatever?
Keep doing what you're doing, man. You seem, because a lot of times, like if you're an ENFP or whatnot, like you said earlier, you start a lot of things and you rarely finish them. That's a starter type thing to do. So I mean, just work on finishing things. You know,
Okay.
just work on finishing things and stay motivated to what you're doing. Like you're doing the boxing, and you found your passion already in life, and you you found where you want to go with life. It took you a while, but you know where you're going now. You know, stick to the boxing. Go after it 100%.
All right.
Because you know that's your vision.
Also, like, are there any like ENFP like athletes and stuff? Because I heard like most athletes are like SE users, and like
That's
if
not
you're
true.
not like SE user, then like because extroverted sensing is like physical coordination, like or motors or skills or something, so that's like most SE users. I don't know. I watched like this objective personality video or something.
Yeah, you should
You know,
probably stop watching that. Stop
maybe.
watching that. But so I mean, what I'll say is that SIUs is actually pretty good. Conor McGregor is an ENFP. Let's say a lot of Bruce Lee is an ENTP. Um, we have Muhammad Ali as an ENFP. And the thing about like a lot of SI users, they're kind of like what people would say they can endure things a lot. So they can
Mhm.
endure the pain, the discipline, and things like that. Um, and boxing will help you work on your SI inferior, you know, always wanting to be comfortable. like getting annoyed very quickly if you're not comfortable. Boxing is going to help you develop that, which is why I said just keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing a pretty good fucking job. The SC, that's not always the case, man. There's a lot of shit SC users at sports. I was pretty shitty at sports. And I'm SC child, and I was fucking ass juice until like I can visualize myself doing the task before I did it. It never worked for me. Like it never worked for me. Like it was a basketball, whatever it is. But as soon as I was able to like visualize myself doing the task or visualize myself like being somebody else, then it like automatically switched over and I was like really good. But I only figured that out later in life, like when I was like 18, 19. You know, I wish I had figured that out when I was younger. But a lot of SC is like being in the moment. So usually, generally speaking, like basketball players are gonna be SC users. But no matter what, SI users will do the task over and over and over and over and over. Like they'll be very disciplined with doing the task over and over. Like Tom Brady, he's the ESTJ. That's SI parent. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. But they will just do a task over and over and over and over and over and have that discipline. While SE users generally don't have as much discipline. Yeah. And if you want to be great at anything, you already know it's all about discipline, man. It's all about doing something, having the heart to just do something over and over and over and over and over and over. And that's how users will do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, and there's a lot of like ENFP like boxers, fighters, like a lot of them. I don't know why ENFPs like that shit, but I don't know what it is. I don't like being punched in the face.
Oh, well, I do. I
Yeah,
guess that means I'm on the right track, right? 8.
yeah. I mean, keep it up, man. Anything
Yeah.
else?
No, I think that's all good, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, look into it, man, and let us know, man. And sorry about getting that wrong, man. But it was a pleasure, man. See you around now. I'm looking forward to your boxing career, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It's a pleasure.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
You too.